Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I'm not here with Geeky Sparkles. She's sitting this one out. We're going to talk about social media and social media platforms and the morality or the immorality, I guess, of using certain social media platforms. Now, this take got me in trouble. I put on Facebook a couple days after the inauguration that I thought was kind of weird. That was weird that people were complaining about the president, the orange one. Can I say his name? Trump. They were complaining about him. I guess I can say it now because even the CEO of Google went to the inauguration. They were complaining about him on a platform run by Zuckerberg, probably using their iPhones. And that comment that I left, it escalated, and long story short, my wife and I are banned from a science fiction and comic book convention page because of it, because the owner is very anti-Trump. But we're just saying, hey, if you're very anti-Trump, why are you on Facebook? If you're anti-Trump, why are you on Instagram? Why are you on X? Why are you using an Apple phone? Why are you using Google? Just saying. So now there's a moral quandary, and this is why I think Blue Sky and Reddit are picking up, because all the people that are anti-orange one are now going out to those other platforms. Good luck with that, because 75-80% of the internet is apparently run by people that went to the damn inauguration. I'm just saying, we're going to talk about this, and then we're going to talk about how Facebook is swiping from X, and they're going to have community notes. They got rid of their fact checkers, their information police, their disinformation police, or whatever the hell you want to call it. Now they're going to do something very similar to X. And we'll talk about that too. That's probably something that Nazis do. Let the public have a voice. So before you do any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Hey, if you're looking for notifications, go out to clownsfishtv.substack.com and you will get notified when we post new videos. If you've missed some, you can also go out there and see what you've missed. We post a lot of content. We post probably three to five videos every day. So talking about stuff we want to talk about in the pop culture and tech space, gaming and all that kind of stuff. So check it out, clownsfishtv.substack.com. Here we go. This is coming from the Austin Chronicle, guys. Austin, which I've heard. Now, I've got friends in Austin, but I'm just saying, I've heard that Austin is like the Portland of Texas. So take it for what it's worth, right? The Austin Chronicle opinion: the moral argument to opt out of X, Instagram, and Facebook, given their owners' immoral behavior and growing influence on the White House, it's time to delete their apps. I knew this was going to happen. Many of us have had a strong and pressing moral reason to opt out of social media platforms run by Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. The moral argument for deleting Instagram, Facebook, and X is rooted in the billionaires' increasingly erratic and immoral behavior, coupled with their growing political power. Did they mention it's immoral? It's immoral to use Facebook. It's immoral to use X and Instagram and Google and Apple. And who else was there? There's a whole bunch of people. Was Larry Ellison there? I think he was there too, and he's probably gonna be running TikTok. I think the TikTok guy was there too, wasn't it? They're not mentioning TikTok, right? Trump saved TikTok or got them a reprieve. They're not mentioning that one. They like that one, so they're not going to mention TikTok. Regarding power, 22% of Americans use X, owned by Musk. 70% of Americans use Instagram or Facebook, owned by Zuckerberg. Each day we spend more than 2 hours on social media. Algorithms reward this interaction through dopamine hits, maximizing screen time, subtly influencing belief systems and lining pockets. It'd be totally fine. It would be completely acceptable if Zuckerberg did not support Trump and they still had their quote unquote fact checkers on Facebook. They'd be totally cool with that because they loved it. They loved it when those anti-vaxxers got kicked, or those election deniers got kicked, or those, whoever, you post a picture of yourself with a red ball cap, you're getting kicked too. You don't say the right that you're going to get booted from Facebook. And they love that, but no, you let people have a voice, and you can't have that. Musk's massive pockets were arguably necessary for Trump's win. I think buying Twitter definitely was a huge turning point, because Twitter was ground zero for a lot of the nonsense that was going on with the media and trying to control the narrative and the spin, and him buying it and exposing what a scam Twitter actually was and how they were controlling the flow of information. Yeah, that definitely did turn the tide. The disastrous consequences of which are only beginning to materialize. Zuckerberg, meanwhile, has been shifting to the right for months, hoping to position himself favorably with the incoming administration. Yeah, I don't know if I trust Zuckerberg. We've done videos about that before. I'm not sure if I trust him, because he's all like, "Oh, I'm all free speech now." I'm like, "Bitch, you were not just a couple of years ago. You were not." By supporting Musk and Zuckerberg's companies, we're financially supporting and endorsing their political agendas and the agendas of the people they fund. Trump! We can do more surely than decry Trump's misdeeds on the platform that twice helped propel him into office. Well, Twitter sure as hell didn't get him elected. Regarding erratic and immoral behavior, our techno oligarchs seem to have stumbled down rabbit holes of their own making, with Musk increasingly buying into unfounded conspiracy theories, backing far-right nationalist parties, and distrusting the science he once hailed as humanity's savior. Zuckerberg is reinventing himself as an anti-woke crusader for free speech. Musk already did that. We're going to talk about how Zuckerberg's basically just like trying to make himself Musk Jr. It's kind of like in the new DuckTales. If you've seen the new DuckTales, Scrooge and Glomgold. Like Glomgold is a tryhard. Like Scrooge is a real deal, but Glomgold is like fake as hell, and he's a total tryhard, and he's just trying to be Scrooge. That's what reminds me of. It's like he's Zuckerberg is Glomgold. Both are dismantling fact-checking and content moderation, while their company's algorithms remain conveniently hidden behind copyright and trade secret laws. The concern that China is infecting American youth through TikTok is rich, when our own tech giants are doing such a good job. But actually, do you not know that the guy in charge of TikTok was praising Trump too? I think he might have been at the election. I don't feel like Googling it right now. Oh yeah, the Google guy was at the election too. And he was thanking Trump for giving them an extension. And it looks like, as I heard, like Larry Ellison or somebody from Oracle was going to be in charge of TikTok. So is that problematic now? I'm just saying. Oh God. So they're saying, yeah, it's rich, because as evidenced by their platform's role in radicalizing young men. Who is being radicalized by Facebook memes? Most of us ought to delete these apps directly responsible for the expanding political power of men like Elon Musk and Zuckerberg. When the stakes are high, insofar as you disagree with their ends, morality bars you from supporting their means. The harms we enable through our complicity and their rise to power may be imperceptible, but like other imperceptible harms, littering, joyriding, gas guzzlers, supporting fast fashion, and failing to vote, the fact that your choice is on its own unlikely to make a difference is not morally was exculpatory. I don't fucking know, whatever. When alternatives exist, such as not littering, not joyriding, gas guzzlers, voting, or in our case, using a different platform, like Blue Sky. Go to Blue Sky, everybody. They're never going to sell us out. No, they're totally going to freaking sell you out. They have to. They're not making money. That requires sacrificing a little of moral significance while increasing the likelihood of securing some weighty ethical good. One has a strong moral reason to choose that. Okay, so once upon a year, I was very, very Christian. I wanted to be very. I still am, but I'm not a very good one. But I was very, very Christian. I was in a very God. I hesitate to use the word cult, but it was a very heavy-handed church when I was a teenager. It was very heavy-handed church, and my religious beliefs. That's a whole nother conversation, right? About that, but. They used to use this to browbeat us to not watch movies or TV or play video games or whatever. You have a moral responsibility. If you buy that game, you're supporting immorality. You can't watch The Simpsons because they're getting ad revenue. and your pure Christian eyes are bankrolling the devil's cartoon. I mean, it was just like, it was so wild. It was like, I'm not going to like the porno theater or anything. I just want to watch, a PG-13 movie. Is that okay? No. It turns out it's not. You have a moral obligation, according to that group I was in, to just completely starve the mainstream and make everything Christian. Everything had to be super explicitly Christian. It's never really been that way, but not since like the Renaissance or whatever. But yeah, it was pretty weird. And that's what I'm getting from this too. It's your moral responsibility to not use Facebook. Or remember what was your moral responsibility to not buy the Harry Potter game, and then a bunch of gaming journos apparently were caught playing it. They didn't realize that the achievements were going up, and people were like, hey, you just got done saying you were allowed to play this game, but you're totally playing this game. And then they're trying to sidestep it. They're like, oh yeah, I'm not going to buy a new copy of Hogwarts Legacy, but I'll buy it pre-owned because J.K. Rowling already got somebody else's money. I'm like, oh, for God's sake. Anyway, I'm going to wrap. Oh my God. So this is who is this person? This is Eric Reeson, a technology ethics researcher at Texas A&M. He received his PhD in 2022. Oh my God. So he's what, like 25, 30 years old? All right. I got to finish this, and we're going to talk about what they're doing for censorship. I'm sorry, fact checking over on Facebook. Because the potential benefits are extremely important, the lower your cost of opting out, the stronger your moral reason to do so. Companies can be run, friends made, and art and ideas promoted on other sites like Blue Sky. However, we can't salvage the American experiment once it fails. Who are the fascists again? I mean, I remember we had a couple of years where things were looking pretty dicey, and you had to do everything the state said, and it was. I felt like I was living in the Soviet bloc or something, some Eastern bloc. It was pretty dismal. I'm just saying. We can't easily fix the mental health of our children. Well, I know a few things you could do to maybe make them a little less confused about things. And we can't quickly rehabilitate America's image or reclaim its moral standing. In continuing to post and comment, we are complicit in any harms that result from Musk and Zuckerberg's socio-political capital. I thought it said sociopathic. We are complicit in their disregard for truth and decency. And we are complicit in the pain they inflict on future generations. My God. I thought that social media didn't have that much control, because when Twitter was ground zero for all this stuff, it's like, oh, don't be silly. It's just a social media site. It's no big deal. Just don't use it if you don't want to use it. It's okay. We're not trying to cancel anybody. We're not trying to control everything. We're not trying to control the election. We're not trying to control your thought. We're not trying to control your doctors. We're not trying to control anything. No. Now they're mad. Now they're mad somebody else is in control of it, right? That you could take it or leave it. We're complicit in the pain they inflict on future generations. A digital era requires digital forms of protest. Let's delete Facebook, Instagram, and X and find more ethical alternatives. What is this? Ethical TikTok, WhatsApp, and there's some alternative. Okay, let's see what these ethical alternatives are. Open source and ethical TikTok, WhatsApp, and Instagram alternatives could transform social media. This is from, what are we talking about? Nobody's gonna go on these. Nobody's gonna go on these. The Fediverse. The Fediverse. Yeah, the Fediverse, that's Reddit. Anyway, nobody's going to use this. Urge your friends and families to do the same if you're still talking to them after they vote for Trump. Collectively, we wield massive power. Musk and Zuckerberg are channeling that power towards their own selfish and immoral ends. It's time to take it back. Hashtag TechBro opt-out. Oh, for fuck's sake. Why are you in Texas? Why are you in Texas? You're in the wrong place. So let's look at this. This is Meta's community notes. Test begins next week with X's algorithm, coming from ZDNet. Ready for crowdsourced fact checking on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads. 200,000 people signed up, and the wait list remains open. I'm sure that will not be abused. It's Meta's controversial community notes system will begin rolling out next week. It incorporates the same open source rating algorithm that Elon Musk used to address political bias and misinformation. On Thursday, that's why they fired all the fact checkers. On Thursday, the company announced in a blog post that Meta will begin testing the new community notes system on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads with users and beginning March 18th. Community Notes waitlist remains open. 200,000 people have signed up to become Community Notes contributors. I'm sure a lot of them for nefarious reasons. They just want to be able to fact check everybody they don't like for whatever reason, both sides of the aisle, right? Meta will gradually and randomly admit contributors off the wait list into the program and will take the time to test the writing and rating system before any notes are published. Meta has also revealed it's embracing X's Community Notes model, which allows contributors to write and rate notes, but notes won't be published unless contributors with a range of viewpoints broadly agree on them. As well, I'm sure this is going to be gamed, especially on Facebook, as well as adopting X's open source algorithm as the basis for its rating system. It further iterates in a post that as our own version develops, we may explore different or adjusted algorithms to support how community notes are ranked and rated. I mean, I think community notes are good in some ways. I think X, they work pretty okay, but people do game them. And Facebook is full of frauds and you know what I'm saying? Like, I could totally see it being gamed. In January, Zuckerberg announced that his social media platform would abandon their current third-party fact-checking process. It's immoral! And replaces it with a system similar to X. So there we go, guys. They're gonna do it too. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, it depends on the audience, right? Could you imagine? Does Reddit do that? I guess upvotes and downvotes are kind of similar to that, but everything's changing and they don't like it. That's basically it. Everything's changing. The people that had the power, that controlled social media, they do not like it. The journalists do not like it because they thought they literally think they are the moral authority. They think that they have the right to tell you what is and what is not moral. And you have to listen to them. You have to listen to their point of view. And if you don't listen to it willingly, then they will force you to listen to it by taking away the alternatives. Going to wrap it up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.